ilikuwa 80 bob kutoka KU hadi Thika. No, I needed 100 bob. I remember that day I needed 100 bob and I only had 80 bob. So I didn't know how to come back. You see, so I had 60 bob to go, but sikuwa na do ya kurudi.
Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Musao, your host at NimeGrow podcast. Today we are recording episode 5. We hope you'll get encouraged. She's finally here, so karibu sana. Say hi to our guest and tell us about yourself.
Hi everyone. Hi, my name is Sue and it's good to be here in the NimeGrow podcast. I'm so excited. I can't wait to just, throw it out there. I'm such an open book. So
Awesome. So umegrow up wapi? Ulienda shule wapi? Sijui nitasema kama watu wa Tanzania, umelelewa wapi, ukakulia wapi, ukaishi wapi?
I was born in Kiambu. Yes, Kiambu. But we later moved to Eastlands. But hizo siku Eastlands ilikuwa say push wacha tuseme. So Eastlands, Koma Rock sector 3B, house number 141. Guy, how do I even remember that? Anyway, yeah, so Koma. Then after that, we moved now to Thika Road. When even before it was actually put up, like Thika Road iko hivyo inakaa sai. It was a whole thing. Yeah, ilikuwa tu barabara. Sijui nitasema kama ilikuwa barabara, haikuwa highway. My point is haikuwa highway. Ni before Kibaki. Yeah. But yeah, so we moved to Thika Road, Kaha West. And yeah, that's where my farm is. Yeah, so I grew up in Islando, Koma. Then we later.
Awesome. So, how was it growing up? When you first born, you last born? How is it?
Oh, being a firstborn, I believe such things actually dawn on you when you are a bit older.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I don't think there was much of a difference, because it's just me and my sister now, who right now is in campus. We have a difference of at least 6 years. I actually even remember the first day she came. She was so tiny. Oh my God. And I was so excited. There's always that sense of responsibility that you just have to, that is really inside you.
Yeah.
And nobody tells you this is how you're supposed to act. You just act. Yeah. But firstborns have the hardest time, especially growing up. And it's not only even to the children themselves, it's also with the parents. Everything has to be a bit right with the first child. So I can easily say, for me, nilikuwa nimekaziwa sana, especially na mamangu. My mom was so hard on me. So there are things that I see my sister doing at her age that I was not even allowed. I wouldn't even think that I would do.
Yeah, sure. I think one thing that I like about you is actually your growth journey and how over the years you've grown. So in that case, one of the reasons I keep saying on every episode is the reason I'm doing NimeGrow podcast is to really share people's growth. You as Sue, do you feel like you've grown, or can you say like umegrow ama NimeGrow?
I did the show, the Blaze Beyond Boss show, because how I ended up even auditioning for the show is a very, very, very funny story. Because I've always been a hustler.
Yeah.
To death, like, because again about being a firstborn of a single mom. Me, when I was in campus, especially after campus, I used to be a BA. When I say a BA, I'm talking about a brand ambassador. My first job, I didn't even have an ID. I was promoting Nivea in a supermarket in downtown, Naivas. And I'm a young sales lady who is now 17, turning 18, and I'm there talking about, I think, a new product that they had just released. So with that, per day you're given 1,000 bob.
Yeah.
So I remember immediately after high school, till the time that I went to campus, I will never ask for a dime from my mom. I'm the one even who would always support her.
Okay.
And the same spirit, I took it with me even in campus. I know a lot of boutiques in town that sell like a lot of jewelry and of course makeup, the cheapest price possible. And I would make my profit from that end. Like na buy earrings 20 bob, naenda nauza 70 bob ama so.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is what I used to do for a very long time, especially now in campus. Then when I got into third year, I joined the KU radio. I joined KU radio, which was also now another story because I didn't even get to pass the auditions. I remember I wouldn't say desperate, but being very sure that I'll grow in that space if they just give me a chance. And it didn't matter about what chance they'll give me. I wanted, I remember telling them, nipeni tu chance, hata kama ni kuosha tu, nikitoka daro na kama napanguza machines. Alafu nikipanguza machines naweza kwa tini kiona venye wase wana present. And it came from that to me actually reading the news maybe for 2 months. Awesome. and help and always now chilling around the studio. Like if I'm not in class, I'm in studio. To now a friend of mine called Chaxi was now hosting a show. I remember the evening drive. Then for him, it was not about growth. Now like the conversation we are having, and he got greener pastures, and he went and now started doing his own thing because he wasn't even in school as much. And imagine from me asking if I could wash the studio to actually now present. And I joined the show as somebody who was supposed to start a fashion business just because of what I was doing as a side hustle while I was still studying. You see, now I'm in KU radio. I'm trying to survive in campus. And by the way, this is the funniest thing. I used to walk to school. I used to walk to KU because our home is just right behind KU. So I walk every morning. I go to my classes and by 3, I'm in the studio. Which, come to think of it, was one of the happiest times of my life. It might have felt like a struggle because I used to work like for at least 35 to 40 minutes every day. Just because I couldn't afford to even get a bike. I would only afford to get a bike in the evening because I used to leave the show at 7. So my mom will tell me I have to eat breakfast and lunch from the house. When I go to school, I only have a 50 shilling and just to come back because please notice that during this time, I had now quit the brand ambassador jobs because they were very demanding. It's either you choose one, you can't do both. I can't keep on. I can be in class. I can actually be in class and manage to do the brand ambassador jobs, but I can't manage to do the brand ambassador jobs and still be a radio presenter. I had to actually choose now, like school and the show. So I didn't have any source of income at that time. So my mom was the one who was actually not trying really hard to give me like 100 bob per day, 50 bob per day. But I really loved being in radio. And the reason I actually went and auditioned for Blaze was so that I would further my radio career. I felt like if I just went and auditioned, I would be a very big deal and any radio station would actually have me. And that's why I went and auditioned. And I auditioned now with my business, now my side business. Because at that time that I was actually auditioning, I also now still used to do, because I used to do the business. I used to go around the hostels with my with my with my earrings and my and my cheap makeup, yes, in the hostels. Like after class, nene nazungusha at least squads kambili.
Yeah.
And then I get like my 200 bob, my 300 bob. Yes, just to survive. But now you see, now with the radio thing, I'd actually stopped. So when I went to audition, I auditioned with that business in mind. Please note, I didn't even have a name for the business. Mi nilikuwa najua tu mimi na hustle. Mi sikuwa najua. Do you know, Joshua, it was because now the Blaze Summit was such a big deal.
Yeah.
And they started from Eldoret, then I don't know where they went to, then now they came now to Thika, and it's an 80 bob Thika. Ilikuwa 80 bob kutoka KU hadi Thika. No, I needed 100 bob. I remember that day I needed 100 bob, and I only had 80 bob. So I didn't know how to come back. You see, so I had 60 bob to go, but sikuwa na do ya kurudi. And I remember calling my mom and Aki begging her, telling her, "Mom, this thing is such a big deal. Let me just go. I don't have enough money, but please let me just go." Na nakumbuka kinikelelesha. Sasa hizi ni vitu gani unashidaka ukinishinda? Sasa hizi ni nini unaenda atakufanya nini? And by then she was very bitter. She was stupid. But then we had the class, nini uko happy unaenda? And I went, and it was one of the best things. To date, I think it was the best decisions I ever made. We were supposed to go with a whole group of my besties, especially now from radio. Wote wakanitoka ikajipata tu ni Thursday asubuhi nimeenda so. Ilikuwa Friday asubuhi nimeenda so. And I went for the summit, because with the summit you actually choose what you want to, because now they have all these great speakers and the tents are everywhere, and every tent has a specific speaker in line with a specific thing, like fashion, entertainment and all those things. So you are only given a chance to choose 3. Now, so of course I chose media. I think I chose communication, and then I chose a bit of fashion. Then now after that, you guys, now after the talk, there's a concert after that. But as all these activities are going on, there is a place where you actually go and audition for the BYOB TV show. And I went and auditioned, and I'm telling you, there were stages. There's a first stage where you actually where you actually fill in a questionnaire. So they go through your questionnaire and they see if you're viable for the next stage, which is actually on camera. Girl, let me tell you, I was scared for days. I did it so badly. I could even just tell that I didn't do it to my best. And back in the day, I might actually say that I'm not as courageous as I was. But those days, I never, ever felt like there's anything that can come in my way. Hey, there's nothing. I was super fearless, but we'll get back to that. Nilikuwa nasikia hiyo show Joshua na Kasta Lala. I cannot survive. So I did it so badly, and I knew for a fact hapa nimechoma. So after now all those activities, please, that are going on, just notice the whole stadium. There's a concert at 3 p.m. A very big concert, the concerts that we all saw, right? And I'd never seen Calligraph perform. I had never seen even like Akina Kinkaka perform live. Just this young girl in campus. Oh my God, I remember being very excited at the fact that I'll watch them. But before I left that booth, the auditioning booth, I met a guy who actually looked like he was a producer. He looked like he's the overall in charge guy. Now here's where my fearlessness comes in. And I told him, I know I have not done my best. That was the worst. That's the worst audition I know I've ever done. And I am not here to give up. Me, I know I've done such a shitty job. And I begged him and I told him, if you just get another chance for me if you give me another chance just to audition, even if I'll be the last person, just give me another chance. I really begged him. And he looked at me. He's really tall. His name is Kabinda. He's a guy that I'll never forget. He looked at me and he was like, give me your number. I don't remember if he even had a phone or he had a paper, but I remember he wrote my number somewhere. And he told me, I'll call you. If I get a chance, I'll call you. Are you living in time soon? No, I'm going to the concert. Hey, I had the time of my life. Kwanza, I remember it was the Yego song. Yego. Oh my God, Calligraph. Oh Lord. Anyway, so I remember even dancing. I remember doing all those things. And remember, I was alone. Please, I don't even have a gang. I don't remember the last time that people go to concerts without a gang, but I was alone and I had the best time. Around 5:30, Joshua. 5:30. Some minutes to 6. Concert
The same
Aisha.
day.
Yes.
Awesome.
Some minutes to 6. This guy calls me. He's just here for a number. And I pick up and he's like, "So, are you still around?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Come." Ooh. Let me tell you, I remember running back to the booth now. Na kulikuwa na security fulani hapo wanakaniambia, "Hey madam, huko tumefuga." And I'm like, "No, nimeitwa."
Yeah.
And that time namtani ati nimeitwa mimi nakimbia. Wananiona huko mbele. Wananiona nikikimbia wanashanga uje mamechini. Wanakakaa hayo sana.
Yeah.
And I went, and let me tell you, I left those crowds at 7:30. I went, they just told me, I spoke, I cried, I spoke. I told them, by the way, isho itafanyika bila mimi. As in, I'm the one you're looking for. Yeah, and the story is, I remember when we were on the 5th episode, because I don't know, I think we did 8 episodes.
Yeah.
I remember we did at least 8 episodes. So on the 5th episode, we were just 5 contestants, and there were 3. There were supposed to be 3 winners. So I was top 4. I was the 4th contestant to leave, like now the finale. So we were now 5. I remember one of the producers actually coming to us and telling us now, because there was a lot of tension, especially with shaking and then the thing was going on. And then this guy just looked back up to us when we were being mic'd up.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "So has anybody ever told you about your story and how all of Yes, and being an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It's sad that I actually didn't take much away from it.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but for me, the show got me in a place where I was just trying. My goals for the show were not from a business perspective. I nilikuwa nataka tu kujulikana, ama rather I wanted to really further my radio presenting career.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to be a star.
Mm-hmm.
But after going through, because this is it was shot like a documentary.
Yeah.
Because or rather a reality show. So of course it was a reality show. It was like The Apprentice, or what is Donald Trump's show? Is it called The Apprentice?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
You remember the Donald Trump show?
Yeah.
That he used to have. Yeah, the Ila Kitambo, right?
Yeah.
It's the exact thing, It's the exact setting. First of all, I didn't even have the name Sushi for my clothing line. I didn't have the name by the time I was joining the show. And I feel if I had already started my own business at that time and now had gone out for the show, my business would have taken like a whole. My business would have really blown up, But it was after the show that I started now thinking about my business. Yeah. And of course, whatever I took now from the show and all the teachings or the learnings, I was supposed now to come and implement them in my business.
Yeah.
But that is not what I took from that experience. Mm-hmm. What I took from it was again the entertainment perspective of it.
Yeah.
Joshua, it was my first time to be in a whole production set. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, the minute I was done until date, I have always realized that the power of what we see, especially on our screens, is not with what that we hear or we actually given the chance to see. There's a lot that happens behind the scenes. There's a lot of magic behind the scenes. Now you're a prop.
Yeah.
I always tell people, like, whatever you see on the screen, all those music videos, they are props.
Yeah.
There are geniuses behind them who actually tell them what to do. Mm-hmm. And I would always watch us shooting and seeing all those people who are making all these things happen. And I realized that is now for me, it was just like the light bulb moment of my life. Mm-hmm. That, I just want to be that brilliant, to be able to show people who they are and what they have, who they are and what they actually want to showcase. I actually help them to showcase. Like, I want them to show. I want to help them showcase what is in them. Mm-hmm. Am I making sense?
Yeah, sure. You are. Yes. I don't know if you watched the East Africa's Got Talent. I think it was East Africa's Got Talent.
Yes, I was at. Yes, I was. Yes, the people at the back.
Yeah, the people at the back did such an awesome thing. It was like awesome. I liked it.
The intensity, the pressure, the brilliance, the back and forth, the takes, the 50 takes in one before you get now like the right take.
The final, yeah.
Yes, so
nice.
I went there wanting to be a star, and I left there feeling like I need to be the person to help people become stars.
Awesome. That's really cool.
So for me, I realized that is not where the glory is.
Yeah.
The glory is actually being the reason why somebody actually looks that fine or sounds so good or sounds so smart, because you've scripted something for them.
Yeah.
Hey, for me, I don't know. It's just, so in terms of business, again, now I had to do my business, but with my cash prize, I won at least 200K. Mm-hmm. Please note that I was in school. I'm in that year. I have to go back to school. And the funny thing is, please note, Joshua, that at that time, I was supposed to call off during that semester, that January. I was supposed to call off because I couldn't raise fees. My mom could not be able to pay for my semester that same. So people would ask me, kwa nini hukuenda hii sehemu? Nikawaambia, mimi nilienda BYOB, si nilienda kushoot your show for 3 months. No, that's kwa hiyo sehemu. No, but hata without the show, I still wouldn't have been able to go. And I remember leaving the show, and I knew for a fact that money, my mom is just looking at that money like this, as any typical Kikuyu parent. Naona sasa mimi hiyo ni semesters 2, sitalipa. At least two semesters, sitalipa 2 semesters, and that is like a total of 130K. So the little that nilibaki nayo, I still had to maintain, like I had to help her, and also now I tried getting, of course, now the radio presenting gigs. Even Caroline Mutuko tried even to hook me up with Radio Maisha, or with Kiss, but it still didn't work.
Yeah.
I even went to the project, to the producer at that time, the program manager, for like an audition or for an interview, but I feel like I didn't wow him as much. I also went to Milele. And these are people that I actually now knew, like from a personal base, but it still didn't work out. What worked out at that time was now more sound. Yes, was now more sound entertainment. This is a space that was doing a lot of events. Like the world for me aligned. It really aligned. And they gave me a chance to actually intern, and I interned and I went to one of the best events as an events resource. You see, like helping out here and there, like kale kasana kakukimbia. If somebody wants tags, utaita tu Sue atakuja atawasaidia. So you see me from a very huge TV show now to being a KYM, like kazi ya mkono somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still growth. You see, at the same time, I'm like, I'm in actually the space that I felt like I deserved to be, like being behind the curtains, like helping people actually be thrive. People don't know. People don't know a lot, Joshua. I'm telling you, when you hear backstage, it's not a privilege to be at backstage. It's just a lot of pressure and a lot of uko wapi? Amekam. Wapi? Anakam sangapi? Kwa nini leta iwaki? Kwa nini?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, by the time you get into the house, you can't even stand because of my friends joke to me and they tell me, ati Sue, tukiwa na event wewe nika unatembeanga kutoka hapa hadi Macha na unarudi, because the number of turns or routes I'll hit in Congress because there's an event or KICC. Yeah, so that actually became my life, by the way. And yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm speaking too much. Now ask me the next question. I'm really excited. Yes. So that for me now became my dreams, or the things that I've always wanted to achieve. I wouldn't say that I've not achieved. My problem is, as we were speaking before, Joshua, and I want also people now to actually not to be afraid of actually dreaming. I think for me, BYOB was a young girl's dream, right?
Yeah.
Like nataka kwa billboard, mimi nataka kwa TV siku moja. Kwa nini nani wanakuwa kwa TV mimi siwezi? So it actually aired on KTN and we were on billboards, and I remember being at the forefront of that billboard. I remember even that shoot. Yes?
Yeah,
and I remember just wondering now what next, now what is my other big dream, and unaambiwa aim for the sky, because you might not know, you might land on the tallest building that is really close to the sky, right? I mean, does it work like that? I think that is what I would tell my younger self, like usiogope, unataka imagine it will come. The universe always has a way. The universe always has a way. I don't know how. Like my favorite quote till date is, and now this is now what has always, and this is what everybody who is listening right now, I would want to like, this is the most important part of all those stories I've given. My most important quote, or the quote that I live for, is that success happens when opportunity meets preparation.
Yeah.
And it's very, 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 very sad when success is here, but you're not prepared for it.
True.
And that happens, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, for me, BYOB easily, I would say, was a success, but I was not really prepared for it.
Right.
And I don't want in my life again in my life where I'll have an opportunity and I'm not ready for it.
Ulimesha mahali kuhusu Sushi Connections. Maybe you can tell us about what is that? What do you guys do?
Yeah, I do customized t-shirts, customized hoodies, and now even the capes. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's up.
Life imekufunza nini? What would you say?
Just be you. Just be you. Embrace everything that life throws at you. Embrace it. Oh my God, embrace it. The good, the bad. It is well. It is well.
I know we can add that there's more things, but thank you so much for your time talking to us. And then thank you again. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. So have a good time, and until the next episode, kwaheri and stay safe.